Hello, I just watched documentaries on the situation in Asia with the coronavirus, and apparently there was this missionary, Christian missionary, who went to China, and he knew that they had the coronavirus, and he went there anyway because he put his religion and his identification with this religion over safety. So he went there, he came back, went back to his South Korean Christian church, and that's where he spread the virus to many other people, and then they spread it to the rest of the population. And that's a reward for missionary work. Okay, missionary, the mission to spread a virus. Okay. This makes me very angry and very frustrated when I see this. When people behave like this is incredibly retarded, and it's just completely disconnected. It's it's extreme neurosis when someone puts his beliefs, his religious beliefs, identification, attachment to it, when he puts all of that above the safety of all living beings. And we see this all over the world with religious people, with different religions, of course, but in this case it's the Christian church or evangelical, I don't know. It wouldn't matter what religion. If people behave like this is extremely disconnected from any form of love and responsibility. So what happened now is that entire town where that disease had spread had become abandoned. People were dying. Many people ended up in hospitals, in quarantine, and they left their cats and dogs and other animals in their apartments. Some of them have living in high-rise buildings and small apartments, and their cats left behind, their dogs left behind. They don't know what's going on. They don't know where their best friend is. They run out of food and water. So there's this one real amazing angel person, a guy, young man in South Korea, who goes around with a face mask, the breathing mask, and he goes to, I guess, to the people that he knows, and they gave him their keys, and he goes in, or helping any animal, if he can get into the door to help the animals, he'll try to do this. He's rescued 30 animals so far, and so he just keeps going he's checking on them. And so they filmed him, Guardian filmed him going into this apartment of the lady. She was in the hospital, and he was talking to her on his mobile phone, and she told him where everything is. And there's this real sweet, cute, gray and white spotted kitty, real thin, looked dehydrated, when the skin becomes, when there's no water in the animal, dehydrated, when the skin becomes wrinkly like this, like what happens in old people. And the cat was sitting there and so sad, It has these slightly floppy ears, and I don't know what kind of breed that is, but it is a newer breed and real cute, like a stronger built breed, but the cat was definitely dehydrated and malnourished and completely lonely. Uh, when I see something like this, I just start crying. Yeah, just crying uncontrollably. And I pray to the blue god to protect all beings. And I'm infinitely grateful for this amazing man going from door to door, trying to help all the animals that are left behind, giving them food and water. And then, as he checked on the cat again, the cat had fallen down. She had squeezed through the balcony door or a window or something. And she was looking for her best friend. And probably climbed up onto the balcony and above the balcony and slid off and fell to her death. A real sweet, cute, innocent kitty. And just thinking, how many animals are left behind in this situation, in this abandoned town. How many animals are locked in apartments of high-rise buildings, not knowing what's going on, not knowing where the best friend went, becoming lonely, becoming despaired. What a horrific situation that is. And this is my plea to the world, Do everything you can to bring your animals with you wherever you go. Whatever the situation is, bring your animals with you. Don't leave your animals behind. Okay? They get scared, they get lonely, they get despaired. It's terrible torture. It's unimaginably and unacceptable to put a living being into a mental state and into a physical state like this of stress and despair and hunger and thirst. I cannot accept that. Okay, we have to do something. Every one of us, every one of you, take your animals with you wherever you go, and if the hospitals don't allow you to take the animals with you, then don't go to the hospitals, So do whatever you can. The hospitals, they can't help people either very much. So what are they? They don't have a vaccine. They don't have any kind of fixing anti body or something, that they haven't developed something like this. Maybe they have. I heard there was one laboratory, they came up with something, and apparently it has helped someone, but that hasn't moved around the globe yet. So that's just in this one location, and it's very difficult to mass produce this that quickly and distribute it around the world. So what I want to say is, and that ties into the same subject, the most important thing is never ever leave your animal behind. Okay, never ever, no matter what the situation is, no matter how sick you are and if you can't breathe. Do whatever you can. Open the door to your apartment so that the animals can get out, so that at least they can run down the stairs, or you can take your animals and set them on a lawn downstairs or into a park. That's still better than leaving them locked up in this small apartment. Call everyone you know. Call also the people at your workplace. Anyone. Ask, help me, help my animals. Can you take my animals? So contact animal shelters. Bring your animals to the animal shelters. Do whatever you can so that the animals are taken care of, so that they are fed and given water and protected, and have company, have someone that they can feel safe with, or at least have another animal to feel safe with, so that they don't feel lonely. This is the most important thing there is. So in regards to health and healing, there are ways to protect yourself from a virus, to boost your immune system, and to cure a pathogenic illness like this. And I highly recommend to people to go on the internet and check out Dr. Richard Schultz, herbdoc.com, his website. He talks about it in depth. Holistic healing, there are plant medicines, whole plant substances. There are plants for every illness on this planet. This planet has everything we need. It's been suppressed. The information has been suppressed and censored by the medical industry because they want to have a monopoly over people's health. They want to have a monopoly over the customers coming to them instead of being snatched away by natural substances that could actually cure people, that actually cure people. So the medical industry doesn't want these customers to cure themselves. They want them to keep coming. This is how bad it is. And it's also, that's all they learned. They haven't learned anything else. And there's another thing is then they start to identify themselves with that. Just like the missionary identifies himself with the Christian church, or the Muslims identify themselves with Muhammad. So the scientist identifies himself with Newtonian physics, and the physician identifies himself with everything that he has learned throughout the 8 years of university. So the only university books, the only textbooks that he was presented with is a very rigid, very linear way of thinking, and it is about this brutal fixing of something. They don't care if that kills other cells. They're antibiotics. Anti-life is that. But antibiotics is anti-life. Those are emergency medication, the absolute last resort if you don't have access to other things. So, or someone who is in a real critical condition, obviously needs to get antibiotics, probably intravenously given in very acute situation. But even in such severe situations, a person can heal himself with natural, very, very strong herbal medicine. I make 2 videos out of this.